did last night's debates change your minds on anybody for the good or for the bad? Let me tell you what I thought came out of the debates. And I'm going to start with our guy, Ramaswamy. He's apparently a very, very, very legit candidate. Why do I say that? I say that because, well, folks came at him and they came at him hard. No, they came at him hard, which makes him a legit candidate. He's not some guy that has a bunch of people liking him or donor enough to get into the debate. You saw Chris Christie. You saw everybody actually go at him. They called him rookie. They said he has no experience. Christie compared him to Barack Obama, which actually, ladies and gentlemen, could be helpful because people are still fooled by Barack Obama and his presidency and certainly are afraid to say anything negative about Barack Obama and his presidency. But I'm telling you, that's one thing that came across to me last night. Another thing that came across to me, and I don't know if it's just me getting older. I don't know if it's just me paying attention, but career politicians suck. And I don't include Nikki Haley in this. I don't include Tim Scott in this. I don't. Well, who I include in this is two guys, Chris Christie and Mike Pence. Look, on the UFO question, I thought Christie was terrific. I thought he gave a great off-the-cuff answer. Okay, fine. I don't think Pence did anything but interrupt. I don't think Pence did anything but show himself to be plastic. And I want Pence. Like, look, I'm in Indiana. He worked at the radio station that I worked in. He sat in the same seats that we all sat in. So you're like, hey, that's pretty cool, right? We want this guy. But these two guys, to me, look like exactly what politicians look like. And I've told you before that I liked Chris Christie when I met him. I did. I've never met Mike Pence, but he seems like a genuinely nice guy. Okay? But they're just bought and paid for politicians. They just are. And I'm not even sure what that means. But what I think it means is see Joe Biden. See Joe Biden, and you got what I think it means. Okay, the group wanted to blast Biden. You knew that was coming, right? You just did. Ramaswamy, on the other hand, blasting Biden, but he also said Donald Trump was the best president in the history of the United States. Now, in that on, like a lot of people are holding that against him. Here's why they're saying, well, he's just parroting Trump and he wants to be in his cabinet, and that's going to usher in the Ramaswamy wave over the next, 8 to 12 years, maybe so. But I got to tell you, it's an interesting move to make when you are already substantial enough to be on that stage and to have everybody looking at you. See, in my world, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give the fact that DeSantis came right out on Biden and the family business deals. But I'm also going to tell you that's a softball. And I'm curious as we move through the debates, how people are going to judge the candidates. Are they going to judge the candidates on, are they the anti-Biden? Are they going to judge the candidates on being forthcoming about everything that they are doing? Let me explain. If I were a candidate and I'm seeing what's going on with the Biden presidency, Hunter Biden et al., I would say, look, here's exactly what you're getting with me. Here are my kids. Here are my finances. I would be the most open book I possibly could be. You know, Trump got away with not being, right? He didn't show his taxes, made people crazy. But the truth of the matter is we need a guy, if you're going to be that guy, and you're going to be Ron DeSantis, and you're going to challenge everything that Biden's doing, and I'm glad you are, then you've got to be the after guy. You've got to be the guy that's coming after saying, here I am. We're not going to have this same crap with me. Went to Yale. Here's my finances. Here's my kids. Here's what we're all about. I'm in Florida. I'm not in the Ukraine. I'm not meeting with different folks so that I can make deals for my family. This is who we are. I think we need that as an American people. I do. Now, let me go to something that they brought up, and I'm going to include Pence in this because Pence's comment, we don't need a rookie in the White House. We don't need to bring in someone without experience. See, in most cases, that's true. But what's the experience? Is the experience not knowing what you don't know? Now, think about it. Sometimes you start a job and you do certain things. And then a year later, you look back at what you did and you're like, oh man, now that I know the company, I can't believe that I did that or I invited those people. So I'm not saying that a, quote, rookie in the White House should happen. It wouldn't happen if we had really good candidates. It wouldn't happen if the guy you're seeing right there, Mike Pence, was a legitimately likable guy with policies that are going to affect positively the American people. That's what I would do if I were Pence. If Christie wasn't a slug. You know, we got some up-and-comers, but if these guys were legitimate dudes, then you wouldn't even be talking about a rookie in the White House. But we are, and it's where we're at. I thought Ramaswamy said something that we all want to hear, but he's got to prove it. Proving it is important. Ramaswamy said, I'm the only one up here that is not bought and paid for. Prove it. Prove it. Show me where you are not bought and paid for, and show me where they are bought and paid for. If you're going to make that allegation about Tim Scott, or you're going to make that allegation about Nikki Haley, prove it. Show me what is behind that statement relative to those two. Look, Christie's easy. New Jersey governor, are you kidding me? Pence is easy. Former vice president, that's easy. We get that. We do. We totally get that. But if you can show the American people that the folks I'm running against are, quote, bought and paid for, and you're not, we're in business here. If you can't, then you need to shut the hell up. If you can't, then you need to jump off that. If I were a media person and I were going to interview, and I wish we could get Ramaswamy back on, he's probably got too big. But the truth of the matter is, the first thing I would ask him, okay, sir, you're touching on something that is near and dear to us. You're touching on something that maybe could get you elected. Bought and paid for. Let's go down the line. Who? How is Nikki Haley bought and paid for? And if I'm Ramaswamy, here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. How is Tim Scott bought and paid for? Here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. Now you start, and how are you not? Well, I don't have a super PAC. I don't have this. I don't have that. Okay, great. But you're going to have to show us. Because I think that's an easy thing to say. I think we're not bought and paid for. I'm not bought and paid for. You know, show me. I think that's a big deal. I do. I think that's a really, really, really big deal. All right, Christie went an area where I got a little bit like, where's he going with this? I'm going to read this directly. All right, so Christie said, I've had enough already of the guy that sounds like a chat GPT standing here. Well, who cares what you've had enough of? What an arrogant thing to say. Isn't it? Am I wrong? What an arrogant thing to say. But then he followed it up. The last person in one of these debates, what's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here? Like, really? That was Barack Obama, Christie said, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur. All right, Christie, why so? I mean, how easy is that, right? Barack Obama, Vivek Ramaswamy, a weird name, look different. Amateur. Okay, how so? How is this guy like Barack Obama? See, that's what I would like. You know, one of the things that you get into is you get into people with sound bites. You get into people saying, hey, look, when you go up there, this is what we're going to hit. You got to compare Ramaswamy to Obama. Remember, we're talking to Republicans here. Remember, he has no experience. We got to hit on that really hard. You know, here's a line. I like Nikki Haley's line, though. We've heard this line a lot. We've heard this line a lot, and I thought Nikki Haley. I'm going to move over here, and I like this side a little better. We've heard Nikki Haley say this. We've heard women say this, and it's good. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. And I got to tell you, it's 1,000% true in my own home. Hey, I'll talk. I will. I'll let you know. But Lee gets crap done. I mean, Lee gets it done. I'm like, yeah, you know, I think we're going to move the table over here to do this show. And all of a sudden the table is moved because Lee moved it. I like Nikki Haley last night. I think it is time for a woman president. I don't think anybody would have any problem with Nikki Haley, assuming this continues down a path. The woman thing is over. I mean, let's just make no bones. The woman thing, debating whether a woman could be president, should be, that's over. That is so freaking over. And if you're sitting there and you're saying, hey, look, I don't want a woman being president. Again, I ask why. And I'm going to ask why through this entire election cycle. Well, I don't want a woman president. Really? Why not? I do. I got no problem. None. Zip. Zero. Zilch. I'm not going to say I ever did, and I'm not going to say I ever didn't. I don't really know. Because Hillary Clinton was so unlikable. Kamala Harris is such an idiot that you go, okay, all right. Yeah, I don't want those women as president. But I'm watching Nikki Haley, and I'm going, hey. I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, Asa Hutchinson, good for you. I'm looking at my notes here. Not Donald Trump, but our guy Pence, Trump asked me to put himself over the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. I didn't. I chose the Constitution. You're an American hero. But I will say this. Let me, and I'm going to move on here. But I will say this. It had to be difficult for Mike Pence. We all discard this. But it had to be difficult for Mike Pence as the vice president to go through the whole January 6th thing and stand up. Like, I'm sure people that don't like Pence will crucify me for saying Pence stood up, okay? But don't. Because what Trump wanted to happen could have happened if Pence wanted it to happen. Like, he could have done a bunch of stuff. They could have changed. Okay, he did. I'm not going to bore you with the stuff I was reading on it today, and he did. And that's hard. It's not like he's working for some meek and mild man. It's not like he was working for a guy that isn't vindictive, couldn't try to crush you. But I will give Pence credit for that. And maybe I'm going to go to the YouTube chat. Maybe I'm the only one that's going to give Pence credit for that. But as a long time, and I mean long time right-hand man to Bob Knight, going against a guy with that kind of power ain't the easiest thing in the world. It's not. So I'm going to give Pence credit for that. I'm going to do that. And you know what? I'll probably be crushed for it, and people will have 18 different reasons why I'm wrong, and I'm cool with that. I'm very, very cool with that. But I thought that was okay. The abortion thing, Nikki Haley was the best on it. Tim Scott said 15 weeks, excuse me. Why am I always so uncomfortable with that? Why am I always so uncomfortable with saying, hey, look, let's kill kids only to this part? I don't know. That will be the last thing that I pay attention to. So somebody could say, Nikki Haley was really, really good on abortion. And I would say that's great. I would say that's awesome. I'd say good for her. I'd say great for her. But for me personally, now maybe for you, again, this is what we got to figure out. Can we do this? Can I ask you, who changed your mind? Who did you like? Because when you say somebody, you're going to get 8,672,000 reasons why this person's a scumbag and that person's a scumbag and this person's great. Well, who did change your mind? I'm not going to say anybody changed my mind as I exit here with this part of the show, but I will say this. Ramaswamy, to me, I did not know. I did not know that Ramaswamy was going to be attacked like that. I did not know. And that tells me he's a legit dude that guys are worried about. Now, Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson are probably the winners last night. Dan, what are you talking about? Trump's a bum. Okay. Well, they're probably the winners because it felt like without Trump, you just had some guys and gals up there talking. It's like Seinfeld without Seinfeld. You got guys, you got interesting characters, you got people that you want to hear from. You're doing good, you're doing great, you're doing all this stuff. But it's just not the same without Dad there. And I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if you guys, me or any of us, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But it felt like without Trump, Tucker Carlson and Trump won. It just did. And you can tell me I'm wrong, right? And I'll take it. I mean, I'm fine if you think I'm wrong. But it was like everybody is at the kiddie table, and Trump and Tucker Carlson are like overseeing the whole thing, going, yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, that's dumb. No, come on. No. I don't know if I'm right about that. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know if I'm right, but that's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like, well, Dad's not there. Dad's not there. And if Dad's not there, I don't know if this is as interesting. If Jerry isn't with George, everything comes back to Seinfeld. If Jerry isn't with George, is it that interesting? And the answer, frankly, not really. No, not really. It's not. I wish it was. I do. Trump's great on his True Social. The Tucker Carlson interview with me was a blockbuster. Could hit 200 million views and more. Thank you. I hope it was enjoyed by everybody. Trump did talk last night. He said his enemies have tried everything to take him down. It hasn't worked. So perhaps the only option is to kill him. I'm not going to say it hasn't worked, former President Trump. You're facing some stuff. Now, you're going to have to lawyer the hell up. You're going to have to make damn sure that your lawyers beat him. But I'm not so sure that we're going to sit here and say, hey, there's nothing going on here. There is. More counts in Georgia. I don't know. I don't know. They tried to block you. Well, you're under all kind of indictment. Here's what I love, and then I'm going to move on. But I love the fact that Trump, who is facing jail time, I mean, there are reports that he could get the life in prison, treason, all this stuff. Is just going about his business. I would be a wreck. I would be a complete, total wreck. I would be. I'd be a mess. I'd be like, damn, hold the phone. I'm facing what? And I'd wake up every morning with a little bit of the caca in my pants. I'd wake up morning, maybe with a little morning sickness every morning going, well, I'm facing what? But good for Trump. Hey, good for Trump. He just, you know what he does? He parties on, Garth. He just parties on. Hey, yeah, well, it's going to be a blockbuster. We're going to be great. They're trying to get rid of me. Maybe they just should kill me. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Okay. Anyway, it is amazing, and I love it. But I want to ask, did your mind change? Did your mind change on any of the candidates? I'm not going to say mind changed, but mine got enhanced about Ramaswamy. Did their actions, did their words change your thinking? And if so, who do you like? Because that's what debates are for. You're supposed to learn about candidates. You're supposed to think a little bit. You're supposed to look in their eyes, see what they're about when you're staring at them as they speak. We can listen to things on the radio. We can do that. But if you don't see people, if you don't look in their eyes, you don't know squat. Did it change your mind? Did anybody last night make you change your mind? Did anybody enhance themselves? My answer, no. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, though. Vivek Ramaswamy showed himself to be a candidate that these other guys respect, maybe even fear, because they came right out and attacked him. They did. What does that tell you? I tell you he's a legit guy. Mike Pence, plastic, reading prepared statements, their own little talking points, ridiculous. Like Mike Pence has if you really look at it, he's had a great career. I mean, Vice President of the United States makes him the second most powerful person in the free world. Governor of the great state of Indiana. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing. But I got to tell you, when you're trying to run for this office, plastic ain't getting it done. When you're trying to run for this particular office, reading from a script ain't getting it done. Trying to be an old school 70s, 80s politician and doing all this stuff while you read, it just doesn't get it done. It doesn't. You got to be real in this day and age. With Trump taught us one thing, is you got to be real. Now, Joe Biden and the election and all that kind of stuff, hey, look, he did what he's the president. But in this next circle, in this next sphere, you got to be real. You just do. And I looked at Christie and I looked at Pence, and I'm like, this not real enough. I thought Nikki Haley terrific. I thought Vivek terrific. I thought DeSantis terrific. I like Tim Scott. I want to hear more from Tim Scott. Got a little preachy. But, of course, the line of the night came from Nikki Haley via Margaret Thatcher. If you want to talk about it, ask a man. If you want to get it done, ask a woman. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is reflected in my own marriage. I talk about it, and I was talking about where to move stuff to do this show in this hotel room. Next thing you know, Lee had a lamp over here, a lamp over there. He's got a table moved, and I'm still talking. That's the way the world works. And I, ladies and gentlemen, I raise my right hand and I say, I am good with a woman as president. No problem. And in fact, it might be time, but it cannot be Kamala Harris. That's the way I look at it.